Hello, welcome back. In this video, I'm just going to talk about a little bit about fish, but a little bit about FishTube and YouTube in general, and people, and the way the world has changed. I don't know if everyone notices it. I don't know if something happened a couple of years ago that fried everybody's brain. It's just, in a lot of ways, it seems like I'm living in the freaking Twilight Zone. And I don't know. Maybe some of you will feel the same. Please comment down below if I'm hitting the nail on the head, or if I'm not. If you disagree, I'd like to hear that too, because I like having discussions. I think discussions are important. But I guess I'll start this off with, I was having a discussion with a comedian friend. And basically he says he can't even tell jokes anymore. Okay? Now jokes are kind of like criticisms, right? And nobody seems to be able to accept criticisms anymore. If it doesn't involve a participation trophy and a feel-good sentence, somebody's going to get offended and start whining in the audience. And you literally just can't get through a show anymore without some sensitive person speaking up and going, "I can't believe you said that, blah, 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 blah." And the same is true for FishTube and people on FishTube particularly. I'm not talking about the viewers. I'm talking about the FishTubers themselves, people who make channels. I mean, in this hobby, it's a complex hobby, okay? And everybody just regurgitates the same sayings, like, there's 101 ways to do everything, so blah, 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 blah. And basically it's turned into this environment where you can't help each other learn. You can't help each other learn unless it's all rosy and red and, or a bowl full of peaches and cream. If you can't, basically if you can't blow smoke up someone's ass, you can't speak to them. You can't speak to them because they'll get offended. And then, or if your idea is different than theirs, even they'll get offended. I don't care about different ideas. I love different ideas. I think they're great, right? It's when people are acting like lemmings and populism. Let's just do what all these people are doing. Let's do what the guy that looks like he's getting a lot of clicks is doing. Forget the fact that he's using a bot farm, and his channel is completely full of BS. But I'm going to listen to him because he appears to get more clicks. It's gotten ridiculous. You can't get good advice on YouTube for fish. You really can't. You go around, you go from channel to channel, and everybody's regurgitating the same populist nonsense, especially if you're looking at videos from the last 4 or 5 years. It's gotten ridiculous. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. I'm sure it's gotten like this in every, fish, reptiles, whatever subject you're looking at. Could be pantyhose for all I know. I bet you people getting uptight about how you wear those too, and, "Oh, don't tell me how to wear my pantyhose." Well, you know what? It's time to pull up your panties and start accepting some criticisms out there, because this, the world needs criticism. Constructive criticism. We used to call it constructive criticism. Now you call it a hate crime. You know what I mean? It's night and day. And just because somebody says, "Hey, bud, maybe you want to consider doing this because I see this, and it's happening because of this." Oh no, they'll just absolutely ignore you, continue to fail, and tell themselves they've got it figured out. So, from now on, I will not be commenting on any FishTuber videos. I won't be doing it. Won't be doing it because, here I am sitting around trying to help people, and all you do is get freaking, sore, torn, and insulted. But if you looked at the substance of what I said to you, okay, and just gave it some thought, I was actually telling you something very helpful. And some of you are going to notice as time goes on and you continue to fail that, holy shit, he was right. But, I mean, if I'm talking to you about discus, okay, and your discus are older than my 1.5-year-old discus, and they're still this big, this fish is a few months old. I see people with 2-year-old discus that look like this, with big, huge eyes in them, all over the place. And then they wonder why their fish are getting sick. Well, they've been struggling the whole time because your tank's a dirty mess. You think it's clean, and it would be clean if you were running any other type of fish. Well, it's insufficient for the discus. You've chosen the wrong method, and you're killing your fish because of it. But you're so much of a lemming. You're so caught up in, following everyone off the cliff that you have to be doing it right. And that's a big problem for the hobby. It's a huge problem for the hobby. And it's a huge problem for you. You just don't want to admit it. So it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad to watch. You got people telling people to put discus and swamp tanks, and oh yeah, you'll be just fine. And then people do it, and their fish are getting sick, and it's like, well, no, so and so said I should be just fine like this. So, and then you're medicating your tank every 3 weeks because the fish are constantly sick. You shouldn't have to medicate. You shouldn't have to medicate at all. But most discus keepers I see out there, I mean, you're going to have to do it occasionally, but you shouldn't have to do it every 2-3 weeks. And I used to do it every 2-3 weeks. I was constantly medicating because I was fighting the same problems. I've learned all this stuff, and I try to share the knowledge, so that people can have an easier time and enjoy these beautiful fish without watching them die. You know how depressing it is to go out and spend $200 on a fish and just watch it die? And you're doing everything right as far as you're concerned because all your other fish do fine with those techniques, right? That's not how it is. It's not how it is. You need to make the correct environment for the species of fish that you're running. Okay? There's 101 ways to do things. You'll always hear these guys say that, okay? But then you go look at their fish room, and every single one of their tanks is set up the same way. But then they've got 101 different kinds of fish. Granted, I'll agree that most fish can handle similar environments, 79, 77 degree water, and all that stuff. Most fish can do that. Not these fish. You put these fish in cold water, they'll be dead. They'll get sick. They'll just die on you. A lot of people run these fish at 82 degrees. You can do that, but even that is really too cold for them. A lot of people do it. And it'll affect your growth rates. It'll slow it. You only got 15 months to get it right with these fish. It's not like other fish where they'll just grow or they won't grow. You have 15 months to get it right with these fish. And if you don't, they're screwed for life. So it's a completely different beast. And if you continue to handle it like you do all the rest of your fish, and yeah. You're going to continue to spend hundreds of dollars on medication every month. That's what you're going to continue to do. When you could have just swallowed your pride and popped in a $20 bulb. It's really beginning to make me laugh. It's really beginning to make me laugh. So there won't be any more of me giving you advices on your channels because you're a bunch of ignorance as far as I'm concerned. You're not willing to accept constructive criticism, and the only thing you've ever wanted in life, clearly, is a participation prize. Watch all you folks dealing with your cushy little lives and your idealism, and that's great, good. But one day the shit's gonna hit the fan for you, okay? And trust me, I know, because I used to live a rich freaking life, and I don't anymore. And you're not gonna be able to cope because you're going to start to criticize yourself. When you start doing without, when that time of your life comes and you start doing without, you're going to criticize yourself, you're going to curl up into a ball, and you're not going to be able to cope. Because there won't be a participation prize when that day comes, I assure you.